Construction sites inherently carry the risk of unforeseen events and challenges. Understanding NEC clauses 60 to 66 is crucial for effective project management. These clauses provide guidelines to mitigate potential financial and time-related risks. Adhering to NEC clauses 60 to 66 helps prevent project delays and costly changes. A compensation event under NEC impacts project costs and timeline. It is triggered by events that are not the contractor's responsibility. These events lead to changes in the agreed prices. They can also affect the completion date or both prices and completion date. Clause 60.1 inches NEC 4 ECC provides a definitive list of compensation events, CES. Only events explicitly listed in the contract qualify as compensation events. This clause establishes a clear boundary for what constitutes a CE. Events not listed in Clause 60.1 are not considered CEs under the contract. This ensures both parties have a mutual understanding of what qualifies for compensation. A scope change involves alterations to the original project requirements. Clause 60.1.1 addresses instances where the client orders changes to the project scope. An example is when the client requests additional drainage work not in the initial plan. This instruction leads to updated site plans reflecting the new drainage requirements. The updated plans visually represent the expanded scope of the project. Clause 60.1.2 addresses situations where the client provides late site access to the contractor. This clause specifically deals with delays in access provision by the client. In this scenario, the client provides site access 3 weeks later than initially agreed. Due to this delay, the contractor may be entitled to a time extension. The contractor's entitlement to a time extension is contingent upon the impact of the delay. The contractor must demonstrate how the late access affected the project's critical path. Clause 60.1.3 addresses the impact of late information from the client. The scenario involves design drawings arriving late, specifically in April instead of March. This delay in receiving crucial information directly affects the project timelines. The late submission disrupts the planned schedule and potentially causes downstream delays. Clause 60.1.6 addresses the consequences of the project manager not responding to communications promptly. This clause is triggered when the project manager fails to reply within the stipulated timeframe. The communications in question may include queries about the project's program. Unanswered queries could also relate to design or method statements. Clause 60.1.1.2 addresses unforeseen physical conditions encountered on site. These conditions include uncharted obstructions not indicated in the site information. Unexpected ground conditions that differ from those provided are also covered. Such unforeseen conditions are classified as a compensation event, potentially entitling the contractor to additional compensation. Clause 60.1.1.3 addresses exceptional weather conditions. Weather events exceeding a 1 in 1 0-year probability are considered. Examples include extreme rainfall or unusually high or low temperatures. Such events can qualify as a compensation event under the contract. This clause provides a mechanism for addressing unforeseen weather impact. Clause 60.19 adresse force majeure events. Force majeure refers to events preventing the contractor from completing work. These events are characterized by being unpreventable by either party. A national emergency serves as an example of a force majeure event. Such emergencies halt the contractor's ability to fulfill obligations. The clause provides a framework for addressing project disruptions due to force majeure. Clause 60.1.2.1 addresses additional compensation events. These events are specifically stated within the contract data. Their inclusion emphasizes client-specific risks. These risks are contractually added beyond standard provisions. Clause 61 outlines the notification process for compensation events. Either the project manager or either party involved can initiate the notification. This allows for a flexible approach to identifying and addressing potential compensation events. For certain specific events, the project manager is obligated to provide notification. This ensures critical issues are formally recognized and addressed promptly. The notification process is a key step in managing and resolving compensation events effectively. Clause 61.3 establishes a strict 8-week notification rule for contractors. This rule pertains to instances where the contractor becomes aware of an event. The contractor must notify the relevant parties within this 8-week time frame. Failure to provide notification within 8 weeks results in a critical consequence. The consequence is the loss of the contractor's entitlement to claim additional time. The contractor also forfeits any right to claim additional monetary compensation. Upon notification of a compensation event, the contractor is required to submit a quotation. The quotation must be submitted within 3 weeks of the notification. Extensions to this deadline are only possible with the agreement of the project manager. The project manager reserves the right to request alternative quotations from the contractor. Clause 63 outlines the process for assessing compensation events. The assessment considers the impact on the defined cost of completed work. It also factors in the projected defined cost for remaining work. Defined cost includes expenses directly related to project activities. The assessment further accounts for any adjustments to the fee. Fee represents the contractor's profit margin or overhead. Clause 63.5 defines the assessment of delay to the completion date. The delay is measured by comparing the planned completion date with the date shown on the accepted program. The length of time that planned completion is later than originally scheduled is the assessed delay. This assessment determines the impact on the project's timeline. Clause 64 outlines the project manager's assessment rights in specific scenarios. These rights are activated when the contractor does not provide a quotation for an event. The project manager can also assess the event if the contractor's quotation is deemed incorrect. This clause ensures project progress is maintained even with contractor-related issues. Good programming is crucial for effective project management. Poor programming can lead to complications in assessing compensation events. Compensation events are changes or unforeseen circumstances that impact project costs or timeline. Effective programming ensures accurate tracking and management of these events. Inadequate programming can result in a loss of control over the evaluation process. This loss of control may lead to inaccurate cost assessments and project delays. Clause 65 outlines procedures for proposed instructions by the project manager. The project manager has the option to request a quotation before formally instructing work. This quotation serves to evaluate the potential cost and time implications of the proposed change. This allows for informed decision-making before committing to the change. A compensation event is put into effect through specific actions. The first implementation method involves the project manager, PM, formally accepting the contractor's quotation. Alternatively, the PM can implement the event by issuing their own assessment of the situation. The third method occurs when the quotation is considered automatically accepted due to lack of response. In all scenarios, the compensation event proceeds based on the PM's acceptance or assessment. These procedures ensure that the event is formally recognized and acted upon within the project framework. Clause 66 outlines specific limitations on revising compensation events after implementation. Once a compensation event is implemented, revisions are generally not permitted. An exception exists for project manager, PM. Assumptions under Clause 61.6. Clause 61.6 allows for revisions based on inaccuracies in the PM's initial assumptions. This restriction underscores the critical importance of accurate initial assessments. Precise initial evaluations are essential to avoid later disputes or the need for revisions. Early warnings are linked to compensation events under Clause 15. Early warnings serve as proactive measures to mitigate potential negative impacts. Effective early warnings enhance project credibility among stakeholders. Properly issued early warnings can strengthen entitlement to compensation. Early warning implementation helps in managing risks and uncertainties. Proactive communication through early warnings fosters transparency and trust. Providing early warning is crucial in certain situations. Failure to give early warning can result in disallowed cost. Disallowed cost refers to expenses that are not reimbursable. Proactive communication is essential to avoid incurring disallowed costs. Only events falling under Clause 60 are classified as compensation events. Adhering to notification deadlines is crucial for compensation event claims. Time impact assessments are conducted against the accepted program baseline. Understanding these key points is essential for effective contract management. The video is now concluding. Viewers are encouraged to engage with the content. Liking the video is a suggested action. Subscribing ensures access to future content. The channel focuses on NEC compensation events and program requirements.